So, dressed in all black. There's individuals that, in fact, fear me because I dress in all black. Everybody has their own personality, as in their own way of doing things and operating in the world. Not everybody needs to be the same. Not everybody needs to be compatible. They say like minds, in fact, reside together, right? All as one, and yet like minds don't always agree, right? That's the interesting thing about being unique. But like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things, combine them, make them into one. I'm a discovery influencer. Welcome. So yes, dressing in all black. It's off-putting to some people, and yet what they fail to know is you grow with people, you outgrow people, you meet new people, you meet fake and false people, you meet real authentic people, you meet all type of people from all walks of life at different seasons, right? Not everybody's going to stick and stay with you. Sometimes people that have been knowing you forever are usually the first ones that try to change you, which means they're not interested in accepting you for who and what you are, right? It helps to as in detach from those type of people, or place a separation between you and them, because if you can't be yourself, as to say, well, who can you be? You might, in fact, yeah. So me dressing in all black, I have my various reasons for dressing in all black. Coming up, I wasn't the most fashionable individual. When I was in my teens, I was kind of like lightweight, overweight, almost about 200 pounds, right? And then as I got older, my weight was about 150, somewhere around 150. So I always had this on and off with weight. And then with me being so tomboyish and not really feminine, I've always dressed boyish anyways. Wearing Nikes and Adidas and all the rest type of tennis shoes and sweats. I always wore baggy clothes, like Aaliyah style. Remember the singer Aaliyah, the one that died? I used to dress a lot like her. And not only that, I admired her singing voice. It was something, I don't know, the thrill in the way that Aaliyah dressed. Because it was like cool, hip, and fresh. Some people might want to bash me mentioning her, because knowing that she's gone, may she rest in peace, right? But knowing that she was involved with R. Kelly, whatever their relationship was, or whatever, that's not saying whatever. I'm just speaking. You can't even, these days, you can't even bring up somebody's name, even if I bring up Michael Jackson. Me promoting Janet Jackson and all the rest, right? You can't even bring up people's name without people trying to gas you and all the rest. As in, roll up on you and pull out stuff on you to let you know where you need to stand in your place. Like, I'm just using for an example. That's a part of my world, as in I'm gonna be who I am, right? But yeah, I like that Aaliyah style, that low riding jeans and all the rest, right? And singing, in fact, when I sing, I somewhat sound like Aaliyah, which is hard to believe in itself. I look masculine, but I have the most ladylike type of voice. And singing. Very much so. Maybe I should present or do some presentation on that on another day. When I rap, I sound like Left Eye. I said that before, but when I sing, I sound like Aaliyah. A deeper Aaliyah. But black, wearing black. I like to wear black, as in really, really dark black, because it hides stains. As I said before, I wasn't really into fashion and all the rest, and yet when I would buy clothes, I like the Gap. I got real hip to the Gap. I used to wear a lot of Gap, right? The jeans and all the rest. I liked Ralph Lauren polos, but I more so like the bright colored polos. I liked it more of Kanye West old style. So I was kind of a mixture. Here, let me do a a little bit with the sweats and tees here, but then let me flip it up to that college prep type style of Kanye West, right? College dropout style, right? So that's what my theme was with the polos. But the thing was, having light color clothing, even that bright red, I will always seem to get stains on my clothing. So I will buy polos. Sometimes that will be $65 polos. Anybody remember those old school? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know. The old school polos that were bright colored, you pay $65 and then you get a food stain like you're eating spaghetti, and then next thing you know you got on this baby blue polo and then it's a stain right. For some unknown reason, I would wear something one time and get a stain, and it was always something that was red or something. Red or blue or green. And it was always something that was heavy dye, as in it's something that you couldn't wash out. Like once it dropped on there was a permanent stain, which is why a lot of times I wore white t-shirts for a while, but I had to get out of that. During the time when I was in college and stuff like that, I had to get myself out of wearing white, because even deodorant, you wear something and I'm not too masculine to mention that, as in when you sweat and then you got on a white t-shirt. For a while I was wearing khaki type of pants, like not denim blue, no, real dark, like the Dickie type of pants. That was my theme as well, along with the Kanye style college prep and all the rest, right? I would go through my baggy stage, Aaliyah stage, the Kanye West type of, and then I would have the khakis, right, with the white tees, and then yes, the Reeboks, white tees, blue slacks, and white, was it, did I say Adidas? White Reeboks. All that, my memory is gone because I'm sleepy, right? But yeah, along with that, I always made sure my white Reeboks were always fresh, white and clean, and then the t-shirts. But then you get these deodorant stains and all this other stuff. I have multiple reasons of why I had to give up colors. It's like the older you get, people, when you're out in public, they look at what you have on, as in they judge you by that. I could care less, right? Because me, I'm highly artistic, as I do everything artistic, right? I used to dance for a bit. I can sing, I can rap, I can write songs, I make beats, all that type of stuff I'm able to do. People judge you off of how artistic, so them looking at me, they would never guess I'm able to do all that sort of things. Those sort of things I just named, all the artsy type of stuff, marketing, advertising, I'm able to do all that, right? But the average wouldn't be able to know, which is why when they see me in black, they usually just judge me on the spot. They figure I'm dark spirited. Because to think of people that walk around in dark is to say, well, that person might either be into gothic, heavy metal type of stuff, right? Or they're into death or something. They never wear it. That's what I'm saying, how people get fearful of me or leery of me, because when I'm out and about, people that don't know me, they'll say, well, you always got on dark clothes, like there's an unhappiness or something, and yet I'm never unhappy like that, right? They don't take it like that. They're looking at your outer appearance. Oftentimes your outer appearance will tell you a lot about the person's inner, but not completely, because it can and it can't. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel light within me, like I feel light spirited within me, almost like a light worker. They say light worker, right? I feel like I exude confidence and light outwardly to the world. When it comes to informative information, carries people that inform others, I feel, are light workers, making you awake or waking you up and giving knowledge, being knowledgeable, spreading and sharing. That's a light worker. That you're helping to give light, feed light to the world, right? Feed light to the channel, right? And yet to wear black is to say, outside of all this discovery and all the rest, is to say, well, who are you really? If a man or a random woman walk up to me, who are you really? You got on black shades. I wear black gloves. I wear black shades. I got on a black hat. I wear socks. All my socks are black. You see this? Everything I wear is in fact black. That's my socks, right? My head thing I wear at night, that's in fact black, right? What is this? My hats, that's one hat, that's two hats, that's three hats. They're all black, right? My towel, shower towels, and all the rest, just got lint on it. These are all black, right? What else? My sweatshirt is black. My boots. Everything is basically, yeah. That's my boots are black. My pants, when it comes to my shirts, I got on shirts now, but these are all my shirts. See that? They're all black. The pants up under them, up under all these are in fact black. These are all shirts and pants, all black, right? And so whatever is within you is going to be portrayed to the world. That's just part of humans and the human experience, right? But just because somebody wears all black does not mean that they're depressed. Anybody ever watched the movie Poetic Justice? Janet Jackson, I'm a Janet Jackson promoter. Poetic Justice, when she was wearing all black in the films too, right? In that film, Poetic Justice or whatnot. People, it's questionable when you do wear black. Is she depressed? That was a thing in the Poetic Justice, the film or whatnot. That does not mean that you're dark or gloom and gloom because you don't want to add color or variety. Some individuals that do walk around wearing all black, some of those people have tried light colors. I being one of those individuals, you can walk and look in my closet and actually see some colors. And yet most of those colors, months back, I had to get rid of. They had to go. The drop shipment is gone with that, right? I had to let them go because it got to a point where, how can I say this? It got to a point where me wearing colors, and I think too because me doing videos, because see, to be on here and see that bright red color, right? To be on here and got on the red shirt, and then you got on blue jeans, and then you got on a yellow hat. That's too many colors. The older I get, I'm almost 40 years old, and so it's the clash or something, the color effect or something, because when it comes to advertising and marketing, my eyes can work with different clashing colors, right? But to have that on my skin, I don't like that the older I get, because I used to have, there was Tommy Hilfiger. There was a point in time where they came out with shoes that looked like the old school Chuck Taylor Converse. I had those of different colors, and I still do got various Chuck Taylors. I got some pink, bright pink. Oh, I had Valentine's Chuck Taylors. They had hearts, pink and red, right? I had lemon lime green. I had the black ones. I had all different colors. Purple, like Barney colored purple. I wore colors like that. Because the loudness, there's a fruity type of loudness in that when you wear bright colors, right? It represents your personality even as an artistic individual, right? But the older I get, for some unknown reason, how you grow out of phases or you go through changes or something, right? I don't like bright colors on me. I just woke up one day like, man, every time I look, I got stains on my clothes. Every time I look, when I wear a certain shirt or pants, it looked like my body shape looks bigger, or just all that type of stuff, right? My self-esteem is not low like it was. I feel like I'm pretty self-confident, right? But even wearing black, you stand out more too. Which is too why people call me out on that, because it's not a whole lot of people walking around in black. Remember, the goth heads and all the rest used to do that back in the 90s, even today, right? And yet you stand out too even more as a black individual when you do wear all black. Now somebody might think, well, that's a gangbanger, or she a drive-by head, or she do drive-bys, or she's into that sort of thing. No, I'm not in no gang or any of that. I just prefer to go for efficiency. What's efficient, right? Because see, to do any type of business type of stuff, right? To do and go anywhere involved with anything professional, even though I said I can be highly unprofessional at times, I just be me. I be real authentic me. If I feel like going off on here, I go off on here. That's just me, right? And so any person in their right mind would, right, be themselves. But how can I say this? Because I know I'm all over the place because I ain't going on no paper today or no cue card. I'm just going by thoughts, right? I had to bring that up because it's asked often about that. Well, can't you brighten up this or can't you brighten up that? No, I can't. And even being on this screen, you see how well I blend in on this screen with me? Consider if I had on a bright yellow shirt, because I wore a blue shirt on here once, a little bit lighter than that blue that was in that last photo, right? And I just don't like how that looks. Color coordination is what I'm trying to say, right? I don't like how that look. If I'm gonna be on this camera, right, even here outside of everyday stuff, I need to somewhat blend in because my skin color is there, right? That ass color, right? But then there's all type of colors pertaining to discovery. It is what it is, right? But to be wearing all type of colors on my own end is to say that don't even fit. It's gotta match or something. That makes sense, and yet it doesn't, right? To the average viewer, they'll say, what are you talking about? You don't want to wear colors, but you want to match. You want to wear all black, but you don't want to wear colors, and yet you want to match the color scheme. See how I'm fitting the color scheme. There's red behind me, and yet even that kind of goes along. But I just don't like colors on my skin because, yeah, one day I was looking and I was like, I don't like how this looks. On me, I'm saying the different colors, it just got to feeling icky on me when I was like, okay, I got on these blue jeans, and I love Levi's. The Levi's, the ones that's all tore up and ripped up, I love Levi's like that. But you won't see me in anytime soon. 551s and 550s and all the rest, right? You won't see me in any of that any type of soon. I don't know. I just don't like it. My thing is, y'all do what y'all do out there. Everybody has their own authentic, unique brand. This goes in with branding anyway, right? Because even when I promote Janet Jackson, yes, outside of here, outside of YouTube, right? Outside of my 2 channels, right? That's Rhythm Nation themed. That's why that album was just up above my head. Notice that's all black, right? That album speaks on, it's dark if you notice. The album cover is black, right? And yet it speaks on world issues just like Discovery does. And yet they have that darkness. And when she says incomplete darkness, that's basically a portrayal as in showing you what the world, the devastations and tragedies and homelessness and all the rest, that has a darkness to it, a dark tint to it. And yet there's light with that. You guys understand branding, marketing and branding? Some people get it, some people won't. Even with Janet Jackson, the Rhythm Nation album that came out in the 80s, right? The album cover always is up above my head. That album represents world issues, social issues, just like Discovery represents real life issues and social issues. Note even the screen, the backdrop I'm sitting in front of, I'm forward, the backdrop is behind me, right? Notice that's black. Discovery represents world issues as well. But with Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation album, once again, the branding, speaking on social issues, speaking on depression, speaking on suicide, speaking on drug issues, speaking on all type of deaths and all the rest that goes on in the world, as Janet Jackson relating those topics through the Rhythm Nation album 1814, is to say that album cover is going to portray the world as in a darkness. But then within that darkness, the front cover of the album is to say light is there shedded on her face as the messenger. Her face is lit. There's light there as the messenger, right? Messenger and messenger keeper, right? That's a branding effect as well. Me dressing in black is all branding as well. Because to do anything or go anywhere is to say, if you go to a business event or you get involved in some type of event or you're invited to an event or even to an industry event, is to say I'm going to have to be forced to wear black there as well. I could wear dark blue, right? But I prefer black because a lot of individuals in the industry, many of them in fact, yes, start off with black, right? Even outside of industry. But I'm just speaking on, and black can be put with anything, which is why many ladies wear it. Ladies usually wear it to hide body, weight, stuff that hang out, belly fat and all the rest, right? I don't completely, even though I mentioned that I do somewhat, but I don't. I just like how black looks and feels on me against my body when I wear it from head to toe. Because see, I like cloaks. I like cloaks and all the rest, stuff that you can cover your head, like the long cloaks, right? That would really make people fear me, possibly run away. The gothic cloaks that you just drape over your head and it's long all the way to the ground, right? I like stuff like that. Because even the light within you, that's why sometimes it helps to not judge completely what you don't know. Because there have in fact been individuals that are deep into gothic culture, right? Some of those are some of the most light barriers. And yet on the end of religion, sometimes they're taken in a negative light because of the black in fact that they wear, right? Well, I'm trying to say, and I said that already, sometimes it helps to not judge what you see on the outside. As in, yes, get to know a person. Get to know a person. I remember when I was younger, right, and people used to try to get me into doing hair and makeup and all that other stuff, as in looking glammed up and all that. I got to go to my prom and everything. I wore a dress. That was all black, right? With the sequin and all that other stuff, right, and the heels, right? And I had braids as well, but I really could never get into that because me being so tomboy, me just being myself, right? I never could get into it. And not only that, it just always seemed off-putting to me that if you're real girly, people just automatically flock to you. And I never liked that. I never liked because it's almost superficial, shallow. Does that make sense? They flock to you when you're looking all pretty and spiffy and all the rest, right? They flock to you when you're looking like that, but they won't flock to you when you're not. And so my mom, even it used to piss my mom off. Well, you should dress like this and you should do your hair up. And if your hair was, because my hair used to be down here, right? And it looks pretty when it's straightened out. Despite it's shorter now, it'll grow back again. But I had to even tell her that, and even one of my old best friends, I don't like stuff like that. I don't like somebody trying to hang out with me just because, oh, your hair is long, or oh, because you look good in this and this and that. And yet they don't want to talk about anything more valuable. They don't want to talk about something that has something to do with value, such as learning or trying to improve or do self-improvement. It seems like when people get into stuff like that, they don't never want to really self-improve. Not all, because you got a lot of females on Instagram that teach and preach about self-improvement, and even here on YouTube, right? But for the people that just flock to you because they feel like, well, not nothing to do with discovery. I'm speaking on being ladylike or whatever. When I had a best friend that used to try to push me into that, getting my nails done and all the rest, right? To have people just flock to you just for that reason is to say, well, once you lose your prettiness, they're going to leave you. And you're just going to be there. And it's just going to be a void of friendlessness based upon them just walking away because you lost your looks. I don't want friends like that. As in, I can do without it. And that's my confession. That's the number one confession of the reason why I dress so masculine as much as I do. It's not fully because I'm a tomboy, no. I got to a point where I started to pay attention that people that would dress all ladylike and all the rest real girly, and I noticed how people will flock to them, and then when those people lost everything or didn't have any nothing, people will walk away from them and leave them. And then talk about them behind their back and all the rest, right? And so what made me think was, maybe I shouldn't be a part of none of that. Maybe I should go back to how I was when I was back in my younger Aaliyah days and just be me. Because even the brat, some people might feel, well, you're too old to dress the way that you are with the baggy clothes. My pants, I don't sag my pants, no. I might have them big and baggy, but I don't sag them all like that. But the brat, I admire the brat. She and I was going to say about 20 years apart. Not really, no. We somewhat close in age, almost, right? 16, 17 years apart, something like that. Me and the brat and I are, right? And so she's much older than me. And yet the brat still wear baggy clothes, right? She still looks like a kid and all the rest, right? I just feel like a person should be themselves, depending on their comfort level or how they feel about themselves, and not trying to change their self for society for fitting in purposes. Because see, if you're too different to begin with and you try to fit in too much, you're gonna end up standing out anyway. That's me. I never really tried to fit in. There's been people that tried to mold me and make me fit in. Don't wear this, don't wear black, don't do this. But no matter what I do, if I try to change for them to do what they want me to do for them, I'm still going to stand out. You see what I'm saying? Because my personality is so different. Which is why I do entertainment to begin with. People that are into entertainment can't really blend in all like that. There's some that can, as in they'll try to force themselves. Those become the most unhappy and miserable people, right? But yet if you're meant to stand out, you're just meant to stand out, right? So anybody could try to force me to blend in, and it never works. As in, it will never work for me trying to blend in to say, well, such and such said I need to start wearing colors, and they said I need to put on dresses and all that. I'm going to more than likely stand out in a dress. Put me in the most colorful dress as you can and take off these shades and have my hair flat iron and all the rest. I bet I'll stand out, because the end result will more than likely be me looking, flashing like Lady Gaga. Because I'm drawn to stuff like that. I've always been drawn to Michael Jackson. To be drawn to Janet Jackson and then do promotion and all the rest is to say she dresses bizarre as well. I'm drawn to the most oddest, weirdest, quirkiest, quackiest things. Lady Gaga, more than likely I'd be walking around like a black Lady Gaga, and they said, well, why she got a duck hanging off her head? Why does this girl has pieces of chandeliers hanging from her neck? That will be me, right? Well, why is she wearing a telephone cord as a belt? That will be me again. Well, why does she, what is that on her? Is that a chain off a bike? What is that on her, right? Handlebars on a bike. I'll probably figure out some type of way to mount that on my body to make it flashy. So anything, yeah. I will always stand out no matter what I do. There's no fitting in with that sort of thing. So I just leave it at that as black. Because I didn't really think about it. Well, if I start wearing black, it just all things, anything that comes to me naturally, I do. Not everybody's able to do that because they feel like they're going to be ostracized, scrutinized by society. And yet society really don't do too much for me, which is why I just say whatever with them, right? But yeah, I do what comes naturally to me. And let that be that, as in I allow myself to be judged by me and not by no other, right? Because see, Yeah, black just is what it is. As in, it's highly workable because see, there's been times when you get in and out of cars or you do transportation or you're wherever, right? And then you lean up against something and next thing you know you got this big old long streak mark on the back of your shirt. And it's a white shirt. You see what I'm saying? Or you go somewhere and then you moving around and you get out of something wrong, next thing you know you got some tear on your clothes. And now you got somewhere to be. I don't like stuff like that. There's stress in that. And not only that, Steve Jobs, that too is where I got some of that from too. Steve Jobs, may he rest in peace, right? When it comes to Apple, his theme was black turtlenecks and blue jeans. I've mentioned that to different individuals, both white and black, that didn't agree with that. They was like, well, he was lazy to begin with. No, he wasn't. There was a specified reason for even Steve Jobs to say, I want to wear black turtleneck and blue jeans. Because to know he had more decisions as more important decisions to make, it's to stick to one thing. The colors, I'm saying, between two colors, the turtleneck and the blue jeans. And you have your whole wardrobe like that, like how my wardrobe is, as I just showed you, right? I have blazers and slacks and all the rest in there, black leather and all the rest, right? The old school Michael Jackson blazers, I wear those, right? With any business trips, you will want to wear that type of stuff, right? The black blazer, Michael Jackson stylized type of blazers with the hats and button ups and all the rest, right? But it helps to improve your choices pertaining to you being able to be more efficient and get things done quicker. And you're not having a whole bunch of colors, because to have too many colors is to say, well, tomorrow I gotta wake up. Or if you pull your wardrobe out before bed, is to say, well, I gotta pick this and then I gotta go wash that, and it start to do is it starts to get in the way of more important things in life. People that focus on the most important vital things in their life, they don't spend a lot of time, unless it's women that get into that sort of thing. Hair and makeup, that's their thing, right? But I'm talking about people that have a lot to do, that's trying to get stuff done. They don't have time to focus on all that. Why? I gotta make sure that this pink goes with this blue, and I gotta make sure these socks go with this tie, and I gotta make. That's too much. That in fact help you get behind in life and not ahead. See, the girls on Instagram, when they do it on Instagram, it's beneficial to them because that's their marketing and branding. That's a benefit to them. And not only that, many of them help sell hair care products or MAC makeup products. That's a beneficial theme on their own end, right? And yet for an individual like me, or men, real masculine men, burly, right? That's not trying to say I'm trying to be a man. No, I'm just masculine, right? As a female, that's not gonna work for me. That I like to cut down on time. That's why I said about efficiency. I like to do things and have it as quick as possible. And black is the most easiest thing you can work with, as in go with. Because if your whole wardrobe is black, as to say, well, let me just put it on. Let me have it pressed, or let me take it to the cleaners or whatever. Let me just put it on. It ain't like, well, I gotta make sure, this green doesn't match these shoes. And no, that's too much. That's too much. And what it remind me of, and not only that, it helps you get sidetracked in life. It in fact does, because by the time you go put clothes in the washer and dryer, to say now one of your friends is calling you, talking to them on the phone, and you got something that might need to be ready for work tomorrow. But because that washer and dryer is running, it's to say now you're cutting into your business time. Efficiency for tomorrow, right? Nah, I bypass that. I don't like stuff like that. And the older I get, even more so, I'm into planning. As in thoroughly doing stuff months ahead. Thoroughly doing stuff weeks ahead. Even with that, I just like the feel of it. I like to be able to go in the closet and say, wow, everything looks the same. Everything's organized. My sports bras, all same colors, right? All socks, all same colors. Everything just is strategically done on my own end as it needs to stay and stick strategically. Because see, at any time anything can go wrong in life, right? There's all type of things that happen that go wrong in life, right? That gets in the way of life. You always want to cut down things that can get in the way of life or stop your process. You in fact want to cut down and be more strategic minded. That's why many people in fact call me the strategist, because I do stuff strategically, from planning and all the rest, right? And coming up with better ways to resolve and solve issues. That's for business organization purposes as well. Organization. Doing things the right way, because you want to strip all that out. That this don't go with this and that don't go with that, and I'm gonna wear this to wherever next week. No, you should have that all thought out before, for record and all the rest, record keeping with that, right? And everything shouldn't be all which way. But for the ladies, it's workable for them, because you always want to have ladies there with style and grace. Did Biggie say that? Who said that? To all the ladies out there with style and grace. Yeah, I think it was Biggie, right? But yeah, we need the ladies to be into their fashion and all the rest, because even that adds variety in life to the world, right? They can handle that. Women like that sort of thing. And in fact, excites them to be lively and put on dresses and the hair and makeup and all the rest, and nice, perfect dresses. Janet Jackson does all that. She's one of the most beautifulest women out here, Janet Jackson, to be specific, right? But even she wears black at times. For those of you who don't know, dear viewers, Janet Jackson, in fact, wears a lot of black. I take behind her as well, and I said that, right? But yeah, I'm a odd, quirky person, and I always mention that, right? Like, I don't fit in anywhere I go. Nowhere. Their Discovery, right? I fit in with because see, Discovery is so huge, right? It's all type of everything with Discovery. Discovery owns everything, but I'm saying outside in the world, if I was to say, well, where can I go in the world to try to make sense of the world while I'm trying to blend in, right? It's like I stand outside, on the outside of the world, and I peer in, because I really don't fit in any culture anywhere I go. If I was to wear this all black and go try to sit among gothic people, right? The goth heads, right? Many of them are accepting the blacks, and yet not all. They'll say, well, what are you doing here, or what do you want to do with us? Why are you even here to begin with, right? Because they might think, well, you look a little bit too hood OG. They might in fact go tell me to go sit with Snoop Dogg or somebody, right? Or the rapper The Game or somebody, or Ice Cube or whatnot, or NWA. That'd probably be the first thing out their mouth, is you need to go sit with NWA and not us. Right? And so I just don't. It's like me being born, I'm just, I was gonna say mixed matched. That don't even sound right. Yeah, it does, right? I just don't match with anything. I match with Discovery, yes, but when it comes to outside cultures, I don't match. With Janet Jackson, I match, yes, right? Because she's real eclectic and eccentric. Michael Jackson was as well. The whole Jackson family is, right? I can match with them, as in I do match with them, the Jacksons, right? As well as Discovery, but elsewhere I don't. The OWN network, that too, right? But anywhere else in society, I don't. Just everyday wise, I don't. I'm one of those type of individuals when it comes to friends, and I think I mentioned this before. it's hard for me to, if I greet somebody and say they got a lot of friends, or because I'm more goal tasked. More. I know I'm going off topic. I should, right? This is just peering into my life, me saying who I am, authentic, right? But if I become cool with somebody and say they got a lot of friends or something like that, more likely me and that individual are not really gonna be all cool like that. The person that want to be friends with me, as in people that, there's people that are often drawn to me despite me wearing a lot of black. They say, well, something about your spirit or something about your soul that makes me drawn to you, and yet I can't really hang with them all like that because they got a lot of friends that they hang with. And one thing I notice is the more people interact with or befriend, the more people that they are friends with, and when they try to become friends with me, they usually try to change me because they don't want to be shamed by all their friends that they're with. And so, like, I had to tell them, is what you need to do is leave me where I'm at and go be with your friends, because I'm not going to change anything for anybody. I'm not going to change all type of stuff, and then when something happened between me and you kick me to the curb, and then y'all laughing and hee about y'all kicking me to the curb. That's just, nah, I got it. That leads to identity crisis. So for me, I just stay in my own lane. As in, I prefer to have less friends with that type of thing. I just can't do it. I'm not gonna be giving up my whole full identity just to go join some crowd over here that many of them, they're followers to begin with, and they're all in a group and all the rest of that, and they want me to give up myself to be cool with them, right? But then they want me to strip me of everything, including all this black I got on. But remember, they follow majority of society and their choices. I don't. I'm not mainstream all like that when it comes to my choices, I'm saying. The average person my age, me being almost 40 years old, most people, they see whatever on TV, in mass media pertaining to entertainers and all the rest, right? And whoever says, whatever singer or rapper, whoever says, well, I'm going to do this today, then everybody go do it. That's not me. Even Janet Jackson does what she does, and I don't do everything that she does like that. Despite me doing promotions, I just don't, because I'm my own individual with my own charisma on my own end, as well as my own way of going off. There have in fact been Janet Jackson fans that have said to me, well, Janet is real sweet and full of charisma. You should be the same way. I don't need to. She's her own person and I'm my own person. I'm just into promotions. You got what I'm saying? I got a mouthpiece on me, and I always will have a mouthpiece on me. My own mother has a mouthpiece on her. It's just something I inherited. I can't be completely like Janet Jackson or anybody else when it comes to keeping my mouth closed, or however I want to do whatever I want to do, because you can't get anywhere in life just doing everything specifically like the next person. Remember, you don't have the same DNA. You're not really identical twin, right? Even if I try to do something specifically in the way that Janet Jackson does pertaining to various things, I still will never be her, as in our DNA is not imprinted the same, right? So with that being stated, I'm not like the average Joe or the average Jane or the average G.I. Joe Jane, right? I'm not like the average like that. There's no putting me to this box and saying, well, Kim Kardashian just did this, so you should start doing that. No, that's not me. Because see, that's where people mess it up. Because to not have your own mind is to say, even tomorrow Kim Kardashian might make a change on her own end. And then where you gonna go? You're gonna follow in that? You can't follow forever, right? Maybe you can, right? But I just choose not to, right? I just choose not to follow all completely into that type of thing. Let me just do what all the masses do. That's never gonna work, because everybody in fame has their time, as in there's a beginning and an end. Fame fades out over time for many individuals, right? Oprah, hers hasn't faded out because she knows what she's doing, right? Oprah's gonna die in fame, as in completely still fame and flawless. Oprah Winfrey will die that way, right? Full of fame and flawless, right? But when it comes to following the masses and me making choices and me changing the way that I look or how I present myself, that's never gonna work. Because how are you gonna even stand out? Because see, yeah, didn't I mention that before? Did I ever say that in one of my other videos? How there's black folks, even white folks, right? But black folks that it's always populated cities is Georgia or Dallas, Texas, right? Where there's the economy and there's jobs and it's full and vital of jobs where majority of black folks will go flock. I don't get that mindset. I don't get the mindset, well, where I stay at, this is an example I'm saying, how black folks, when they get to thinking, right? Many of them think that I feel that I'm above. No, I didn't say I was above, right? But when it comes to their mindset pertaining to they might live in a certain area, right? And there might not be jobs. So what they say is, oh, everybody else black is going to Dallas, Texas. So let me move to Dallas, Texas because everybody else black is moving there. No, you might in fact want to go in the other direction. The older I get, I'm starting to see that. You don't want to go from a city where there's no jobs and then move where all the other black folks like you are moving to. Because it's flooded, as in it's going to be flooded and you're going to be back where you started, as in not having a job. Some people don't use logic when it comes to that. They say, well, I don't have a job where I'm at, so I'm going to go move where all the black folks like me are moving to. And then when I tell them, I'm not interested in that. They'll say, well, who do you think you are? Above all that, going where everybody is. Because I know once I make it there, I more than likely will be without, just like they're without. Despite all of us going there thinking we're going to have something, right? But to be with Discovery is to not ever have to worry about that sort of thing. But I just had to put that out there as an example, right? Because singers and rappers, they help set the pace of pop culture. As in helping, well, not helping, but that's who average everyday people look up to, as celebrity, famous people. And most people make their decisions based off of the famous people that they watch, right? You don't ever just want to see somebody famous and say, oh, because he or she did it, let me go do it. No, that might in fact not work for you. That type of stuff. Fame and what famous people do is not always meant to work. Might not be meant to work for whatever you're doing. Does that make sense, right? People don't get that. I'm not into fame all like that. I just am not. Because I know to be famous is to have everybody love you, and then before you know it, they're kicking you to the curb. Didn't I say that before? That will be Kim Kardashian, possibly in her future. Possibly Beyonce. You don't know, right? That's just the way that it goes. Unless they end up being like Oprah Winfrey. Then I can see them living long term in fame, right? But I don't like that type of stuff. I never liked that type of stuff. Because see, I'm not fame, but when it comes to people just say, well, people saying, well, I'm gonna follow, such and such just bought a new watch that came out, right? They don't really know about the company and all like that, but they're gonna go buy it because everybody else bought it. I'll bypass that type of stuff. That's unoriginal at its finest, right? I don't like that. Because one thing I miss about the golden days, or back when even hip hop and all the rest was golden, back in the 90s, was when people had their own style. Their own fashion and their own quality to life that was different. As in even variety on the radio shows was unique. on the radio shows, radio broadcasting, radio television period, music videos, MTV, BET, VH1. Each of them artists had their own established sound, sight and sound, right? They were not all trying to all chase the same dream, as in all looking alike. Even when the Beatles came out, the Beatles was the Beatles, right? People flocked to them, right? You had fans that flocked to them. I get it about, well, the Beatles, I love the Beatles, I want to be like the Beatles. I get that part, but what I don't get is the let's do what everybody else is doing. That's blending in too much. Because see, to blend in like that is to have no identity as an end result. Remember, everybody's doing all the same thing. Like on Instagram, I seen when I mentioned this, I was posting on Hootsuite. I said, why is everybody all looking the same? One person does a photo and now 1 million people on Instagram is doing it. And now you're just in a swamp full of sameness. Nothing stands out. And yet anywhere I go, I will more likely stand out because anything I do always looks like something nobody has did before. And that's without me even trying. That's just how my brain is designed. My brain is going to always do what everybody else isn't doing, right? And so, yeah, that sameness is how no identity can be there, which is kind of scary in itself. I don't ever want to be standing amongst a whole bunch of people in society, because see, that's how mobs is started. Not gangbangers or mafia or none of that. Mobs. That hive mindset, where it's one leader and everybody else following. He says, well, go put a hatchet to such and such, right? A person that like me would be thinking, well, let me think. Is this person my enemy? I might want to put a hatchet to him or her. Right? I want to think it out. I'm saying use your critical, that's funny. Use your critical thinking skills with that, right? I don't like that type of stuff, but let me just go along because somebody just told me to go along, right? Even on my jobs, working jobs, I never like supervision. I don't like that type of stuff hanging over me. Making sure I'm doing, because I should be able to think for myself. As in, I should know you told me what to do, so I'm going to do it, so let me go ahead and do it. I don't need you standing behind me. Right? Not everybody thinks like that, which is why you have people that just, they'll follow whoever, Kim Kardashian, right, and just do everything that she does. That leads to identity crisis over time. Because to say I gotta do everything exactly like she does is to say I'm gonna be lost and not found in that, right? People, that's how they get suicidal and all the rest, right? And so, yeah, I just can't do all that type of stuff. Me being a female, anybody will tell me that, well, don't you want to look more girly? Don't you want to look more ladylike? That's not gonna benefit me, no way. Because once I start opening up my mouth, it's gonna show. Me opening up my mouth represents my brain as a way that I think, analyzing and picking things apart, right? The same way I do on this camera, I do that in everyday life, right? And once I start doing that in hair and makeup and a dress, nobody ain't gonna want to be bothered with me, no way. They're gonna say this chick thinks she uppity, she thinks she this, she thinks she that. She thinks she know too much. She think, well, if I'm going to deal with all that, I might as well deal with all that looking like a boy. Or like a guy. Trust and believe if I had on hair and makeup and was all dialed up and dressed up and all the rest, and I got to speaking who I am, I'm not going to cover that. What I look like, that's stupid. I think very scientifically, right? That's me. So I went discovery, right? If I think scientifically, why would I put that away while I'm dialed up in hair and makeup? Because see, what that will lead to, I know what that will lead to. Me being all pretty and dialed up and all the rest. And say if I wasn't being myself and doing that, right? If I was to be dialed up, makeup and hair all pretty, walking in heels with a pretty lovely dress on, evening gown, right? And say if I don't be myself and talk scientifically the way that I do, I will start having all type of people flock to me and drawn to me. And yet they won't match me. Because me not, whatever comes out your mouth represents you, as in your personality and your brain. Your thinking comes out the way that you speak, right? And so if you looking all pretty and you being yourself, right? If that is you, there are in fact very scientific girls. Don't think just because I look the way that I am, don't think that it's women out here that think like me, but never. There's in fact women that dress up. Some of them dress like Oprah, some of them dress like Janet Jackson, some of them dress like Beyonce with gowns and heels and all the rest. And they think even more scientifically than me. Some of them are in fact lawyers, attorneys, and all the rest. They work in a judicial system. You got dentists, you got doctors. They wear heels, many of them not in the office or whatever. I'm just saying there's women out here that think very logical like me, so don't get it twisted, right? They possibly even work in computer science and engineering and all the rest, right? And they put on dresses and evening gowns with heels and makeup and the long earrings and all the rest, right? Nails and all that, right? They probably like going to get their hair done every week or every 2 weeks or however women do it, right? But if I was to do this type of thing, put on all that lady type of stuff, and then say I never speak the way that I am speaking, being myself, I would draw the wrong type of people to me. And more likely it will be losers because I'm not telling what I'm thinking. I'm just looking real pretty and possibly prissy and all the rest, right? And yet people, they're once again going to flock to me. But they don't know what's in my heart and my mind because I don't show it, right? You can, in fact, drag all the very wrong people to you by you not exposing who you are when you're looking all pretty and dialed up. There's, in fact, very famous people that look very pretty and all the rest, and you probably will be shocked because they don't say who they really are behind that camera or behind on stage and singing and performance and all the rest, right? They don't really speak their mind, which is why they are able to gain millions of followers and keep millions of followers, because they don't speak who they really are, right? Some might feel that that's being fake, right? But to keep followers is to keep your mouth closed on various things. For me, I bypass that. If I can't be myself, then I don't want it, right? That's just me. If I need to cut somebody out on the screen, I'm going to in fact do that while going off, because that's me. That's just me. Right now, everybody's like that, which is why I possibly, will bypass all that, like fame and glory and all the rest. But that's how, that's how many women that look real pretty and all the rest, when they put on hair and makeup and they don't speak their mind or be themselves, and they wonder why they get stuck with all the wrong people. That's why, because they're not really living their truth. They're living their truth with the hair and their makeup and looking good and all the rest, but they're not living their truth and speaking what's on their mind. Because to start speaking the right way, as in being who you are, you're going to in fact repel all the wrong people away from you. As they might in fact run away, and they might in fact need to run away. Because if they're not good for you and say they're possibly users or something like that, or abusers, you don't want them people next to you, no way. So I do all the right things in ways to repel all the wrong people and draw all the right people. I place barriers at times for various reasons. There's ways I do stuff. Even outside of both YouTube channels, when I'm on Hootsuite, I've been known to repel people, as in the wrong people, and all the right people are able to see, as in they're able to crack through the mode and see who I really am. People can fill you out. If you're being yourself, if you're not being yourself, right? They can fill out why you're repelling. Because not everybody has even my best interest in mind, right? And that's too why I don't dress up all doll like and all that, right? I don't want any type of, I don't want, even if it's men or anything like that, to say, just be drawn to me just for sexual purposes or something, and then be trying to kick me to the curb or females are like that because I'm being my authentic self, so I would rather that that person be that way with me, but not everybody thinks like that, right? They're just interested what they can get from you, right? I let them be them with that sort of thing. But it cuss me out to get cussed out as well. That's just me, right? So I just had to take the time and say that because I'm sure individuals, even with me cutting down my views, there's all type of ways I do all type of things. Yeah, cutting down views and all the rest, right? To figure out when it comes to promotion, promoting to the right people and not the wrong. I won't say what type of people I don't want in the comment section. There's loser type of individuals. Outside of YouTube, they might be on YouTube, but more likely they're not content creators. They hang out on different forums, right? I don't like their mindset because they like to tear up stuff. They just do, and I just get tired of stuff like that. But I think that's all to be said for now because the video is getting too long. So yeah, what do you think about the color black and wearing it? Leave a comment in the comment sections, dear viewers. Wearing black. What do you think and feel about that sort of thing? How do you feel about seeing it on other people? People that dress up in all black. Does that seem off-putting to you, or does it scare you in any type of way? Some people it do scare. Because they get to think about skulls and bones and death. It's like I said, I know somebody when they found out that I was with Discovery and am with Discovery, when they said, oh, you do videos on death? It was like, yuck. My thing is, you don't do it. Maybe if you do something more for society, you be further yourself. I had to laugh in their face about that one. Because it's funny. You know what I'm saying? People, they put down what they misunderstand instead of asking. Learn to ask. If it's not crime related, you might in fact want to ask so that you can learn. That's what open-minded people do. They observe and then they ask, well, why is this or why is that, right? They just want to. Opportunity is in the learning. That's how you succeed and get ahead in life. So I think that's all to be said for now, dear viewers. I'm going to end this video for now. May you enjoy your day, and I'll in fact enjoy mine.